There exists a secret group of souls who were never meant to fit in. People who feel deeply, think profoundly, and live with a certain discomfort in the ordinary world. For a long time they walked in silence, doubting themselves, trying to understand why everything seemed so out of place. But now, they're beginning to realize they were being prepared. These individuals didn't appear in the first spiritual waves. They remained in the shadows, dealing with their pain and searching for meaning. While many sought answers outside, they dove deep within. They felt different, lonely, and even out of place. But that feeling was merely a sign that they were moving to a different rhythm, waiting for the call that could only come at the appointed time. And that time is now. Something has been stirring within you. A sense of urgency, a desire for change, a feeling that you're being pulled towards something greater. It's not a coincidence. It's alignment. Everything is beginning to fall into place because your frequency is coming into harmony with the mission your soul has always carried. This video is more than a reflection. It's a clear sign. If what you feel inside resonates with these words, it's because you've already awakened. The secret group is activating, and your presence is needed. I am George, and if this message made sense to you, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and share in the comments. Let's walk this journey together. For a long time, it seemed like you were stuck in a strange pause. Not everything was going wrong, but things also weren't flowing as they should. You tried, sought new paths, did what you could, but it was as if something invisible was holding your life back, as if a greater force were keeping you from moving forward. That made you doubt, question, and even believe something was wrong with you. That feeling wasn't failure, it was spiritual strategy. The secret group to which you belong was programmed to awaken only when the planet's vibration reached a specific point. Your energy was kept, like a seed planted in winter, waiting for the right season to bloom. That delay was actually a shield. It was protection, a sacred time of internal construction. While many around you were growing, achieving, and appearing, you observed everything from afar, sometimes with admiration, sometimes with sadness. You didn't understand why it wasn't your turn. But now you're beginning to understand. Your role wasn't to start the journey of others. It was to anchor something much greater, something that would only be possible when the collective consciousness was ready to recognize you. Many people awakened earlier. They were on important missions, spreading seeds, preparing the ground. But the members of the secret group are different. They carry codes, gifts, and frequencies that only function when the planet reaches energetic collapse, when illusions no longer work, when chaos takes over. And that moment has come. Now your soul is beginning to move. If you feel that things are finally starting to flow, even without logical explanation, it's because the activation has begun. It's no coincidence that you're receiving signs, sensing changes, or feeling pulled strongly toward something. All of this is the universe pushing you into your true path. And the time you spent waiting was not wasted time. That waiting created roots. It developed your intuition. It strengthened your vision. It prepared you to walk with awareness, without copying anyone, without following someone else's path. And now the movement begins. Are you feeling lighter, more determined, more courageous to say yes to what makes your soul vibrate? That's activation. That's the calling in action. Don't compare yourself to others. You're not late. You're not broken. You haven't wasted your life. Everything you've lived until now was necessary. The preparation was silent, but powerful. And now, you will be placed in positions and situations where your energy will be indispensable. The secret group is being positioned to fulfill its mission, and you are an essential piece. The pause has ended. The time is now. What once seemed blocked is now beginning to move. What was foggy is beginning to clear. You no longer have to force things. You only need to follow the intuition that always tried to guide you. The call has been made, and the response begins with one decision: to trust that your time has come. Many of the chosen have lived most of their lives feeling isolated. Even surrounded by people, they still felt alone. It was a different kind of solitude, not physical, but energetic. It was as if no one around could truly understand them, as if the language they spoke inside was invisible to the world's ears. And over time, that became a heavy silence. But that silence was a forge, a sacred space where your soul was shaped without distractions. While others sought meaning in outside voices, you dove deep inside your own universe. Solitude taught you to listen to what most people ignore. It taught you to notice subtleties, to read the energy of places, to feel what lies behind words. That sensitivity wasn't born by chance. It was trained in silence. During those long nights awake, in moments of confusion, in phases of withdrawing from everything and everyone, your energy was being calibrated. It wasn't rejection. It was preparation. The secret group needed to align with the frequency of truth, and that doesn't happen in the middle of a crowd. The crowd teaches the ego. Solitude reveals the soul, and you were chosen for that revelation. Even when distant, you always felt a mysterious connection with something greater, as if there was an invisible network linking you to other souls scattered across the world. People who, like you, were waiting for the right moment. It was as if a silent field existed, uniting hearts that didn't yet know each other but pulsed at the same frequency. That field is now awakening. You may start to feel a sudden urge to get closer to people you barely know. You may feel drawn to certain places, or feel the urge to begin something new, even without knowing why. All of this is part of the synchronization of the secret group. The time to act alone is ending. Now, the call is for unity, for a joint mission, even if each one keeps their individuality. That loneliness that once hurt now becomes strength, because while the world distracted others, you were being strengthened. While others looked outward, your eyes turned inward. And that's how your intuition was sharpened, your vision expanded, and your soul gained firmness. Isolation taught you how to recognize what's real. And now, that invisible connection is becoming visible. People from the same group are meeting, recognizing each other, even without words. Just a glance, a brief conversation, a shared silence, and everything makes sense. This isn't coincidence. It's soul code activation. And when these connections take shape, the impact on the collective field is immense. You were not forgotten. You were molded. You were strengthened. And now, you are ready to connect more deeply with others who share the same frequency. Solitude has fulfilled its purpose. Now it's time to use everything you learned in silence, to enlighten, to guide, to transform. Your energy is needed. The secret group is gathering its pieces, and you are one of them. There's something strange happening to you at night. Your body asks for rest, but the moment you lie down and close your eyes, your mind awakens. Thoughts race, feelings intensify, and a sense of vigilance takes over. You try to sleep, but your soul seems to have another plan. This isn't ordinary insomnia. It's spiritual. It's a sign of activation. Many of the chosen are going through this. During the day, there's physical exhaustion, but when night comes, something ignites within. It's as if the spirit knows that's the perfect time to receive information, access memories, and decipher signs. The silence of the night opens a portal that only those who have begun to awaken can cross. This nighttime state is more than discomfort. It's a calling. The universe is trying to communicate with you through vivid dreams, subtle sounds, sensations in your body, and even premonitions. You might wake up suddenly, feel chills, hear unexplainable noises, or get the sense that someone tried to wake you. These signs are not hallucinations. They're part of the energetic calibration of the secret group. Your spiritual field is becoming increasingly sensitive. That's why some nights feel different. When most people rest, you receive codes. While others sleep, you're being updated. It might seem tiring at first, but it's temporary. Your body is adapting to a higher frequency, and your spirit is remembering what it came here to do. You might be having intense dreams that feel more real than everyday life. In them, you see unfamiliar people, symbols, strange places, and you wake up feeling as though you've experienced something important. In many cases, you're accessing spiritual planes, subtle trainings, conversations with your spiritual team. This is common among those chosen from the secret group. During these active late nights, creative ideas may arise. Impulses to change something, the urge to write, to create, to express something you don't know where it comes from. That's the intuitive flow being released. It's as if, for a few moments, you're outside linear time, connected to something greater, receiving data and direction for the next step of your mission. This doesn't mean you must give up physical rest. On the contrary, now is the time to care for your body, because it needs to sustain a higher energy. Eat well, breathe deeply, keep your surroundings clean. All of this helps your physical body to keep up with the spiritual adjustments happening while the world sleeps. The most important thing is to understand that you're not going crazy. You're awakening. And this kind of nighttime tuning is one of the clearest signs of that. Trust what you feel. Trust what you perceive when no one else is around. Because it's precisely in that silent space that your soul speaks loudest. You weren't made to fit into the old world. You came to help create a new one. And for that, it's necessary to access information that isn't in books or on social media. It's within you, waiting for the right time to emerge. And that time is happening now, especially when everyone else is asleep. You've always had difficulty believing people's words blindly. Even if someone speaks with a smile, when the energy doesn't match, you feel it. Your body gives you signals, a shiver, discomfort, an inner silence that seems to shout. It's as if you can see what's behind the mask. That's not judgment, it's discernment. From an early age, you notice that not everything spoken with conviction is true. Some people can convince others with beautiful words, but you feel when something's off, and that makes you pull away from shallow conversations, fake environments, and forced relationships. You can't stand pretense. You prefer silence to being surrounded by energy that doesn't represent you. This gift wasn't something you learned. It was something that's always been there. You were born with that sensitivity. And now, it's becoming even stronger. The secret group is composed of souls who can read beyond speech, beyond gestures, beyond appearances. They're people who sense the vibration behind every intention. And that's extremely powerful. You walk into a place and sense the atmosphere. You notice when someone's pretending to be fine. Often, you can't explain how you know. You just do. That happens because your energetic field is in tune with the frequency of truth. And that truth doesn't depend on words. It manifests as feeling. It's not always easy to deal with that. Sometimes you sense things others prefer to ignore. That might make you seem strange, suspicious, or overly sensitive. But in reality, you simply can't deceive yourself like most people do. And that's a rare strength. In a world full of masks, Those who see through the heart are a threat to lies. That's why many around you try to silence you, discredit you, or distance themselves. Because your presence makes them uncomfortable. Your perception exposes what others try to hide. But that's not a reason to hide. It's a reason to stand firm. Because your ability to feel the truth is exactly what the world will need most in the times ahead. You will be sought out, not for ready-made answers, but for clarity. People will notice that in your presence everything feels lighter, more honest. They won't understand how, but they'll feel relief. That happens because your energy dissolves illusions. You are like a mirror. And sometimes, showing the truth hurts, but it frees. Your role is not to confront, but to illuminate. Not to expose anyone, but to remind others of what's real. That can be done silently, through a look, a choice, or a clearly set boundary. The secret group has the mission of keeping the flame of truth alive in dark times, and you've been prepared for that for a long time. Trust your sensitivity. Trust what no one else sees but you can feel. Because in the new world that's being born, truth will no longer be spoken. It will be felt, and the chosen are those who can recognize it even amid the noise. You are one of them, and your presence is the key that will unlock many doors. There are moments when you catch yourself thinking about things you've never studied. Ideas, symbols, words, or memories that appear out of nowhere, as if they had always been part of you. You might be walking down the street and suddenly feel you've been there before. Or you might look at something and feel a strong sense of familiarity, even though you've never seen it before. These experiences are not random. They are part of a process of spiritual reconnection. The secret group carries within itself memories that don't belong only to this life. They are fragments of knowledge, experiences, and wisdoms that have transcended time. And now, as your frequency rises, these memories begin to emerge, echoes of an ancient truth resurfacing. You might feel a fascination with ancient cultures, mystical symbols, or spiritual stories that seem to speak directly to your soul. You may dream of unknown places that give you a strange peace, as if you were returning home. All of that is codes awakening within you. The truth is, you're not learning these things, you're remembering them. The secret group didn't come to repeat other people's knowledge. It came to access what's stored in the deepest layers of the spirit. That's why these memories return spontaneously. You may write something and later be surprised by what you wrote, or draw symbols that only make sense to you. This is innate wisdom being activated. And it's not just your mind reacting to this. Your energy is changing too. And that change is noticed by pure beings, like children and animals. Have you noticed how animals look at you differently? How babies stare at you calmly and curiously, as if they recognize you. This happens because they feel your frequency. Unlike adults, who filter everything through judgment and preconceived ideas, children and animals sense vibration without needing explanation. They know when they're in the presence of someone with clean energy. That's why many approach you, follow you with their eyes, or remain silent beside you. They recognize who you are, even if you're still discovering it yourself. These subtle encounters are powerful reminders that your essence speaks louder than your words. You don't need to try to be seen. Your presence is already a language. And it's this energetic language that will guide many of your next steps. Because part of the secret group's mission is not to teach by voice, but by vibration. Small children, for example, often stare deeply at you, as if they know something you don't. They don't judge. They don't compare. They just feel. And what they feel is safety. The same goes for animals that approach without fear, rest nearby, or even lie at your feet. That's connection. That's recognition of the soul. You're beginning to realize you don't need to say much. When you're centered, whole, and authentic, your energy communicates everything. That's why, even in silence, you inspire. Even without trying, you heal. Even without knowing how, you transform. This isn't a rare gift. It's a part of your essence that was dormant and is now awakening. The presence of the chosen has that effect. It disarms masks, dissolves tension, and soothes. But it also unsettles those who live in lies. That's why sometimes you're rejected for no apparent reason. And that's okay. You're not here to be accepted by everyone. You're here to vibrate truth. Those who are ready will feel it. Those who aren't will walk away. And that's part of the cleansing. Because the higher your energy rises, the more it attracts what aligns and repels what doesn't. You'll notice people leaving, relationships shifting, old situations losing meaning. It's as if your field is saying, only what's true remains here. And that's protection. That's wisdom. You don't need to force connections. What's real always approaches naturally. Trust your vibration. It's working for you. And when you keep your energy clean, present, and genuine, you become a magnet for the right people. The secret group operates this way, with presence, with silence, with soul. There's a feeling that's been with you for years, an impression that something big is about to happen. It's not fear, not haste. It's a kind of silent expectation. You don't know exactly what or how it will manifest, but you can feel deep in your chest that there's a purpose waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. That feeling isn't just a passing thought. It rises from the depths of your soul, like a subtle reminder, an ancient promise. The members of the secret group have lived with that awareness since early on. Even in the most confusing phases of life, that feeling persists. It's like an inner compass, pointing towards something greater. You've always known you weren't here just to live for the sake of living. You may not have all the answers. You may not even know where to begin. But instinctively, you know your presence here has a reason beyond the ordinary. This feeling becomes stronger when the world seems to collapse. While many feel lost amid chaos, you feel the need to be present, as if your spirit were positioning itself to take action. And that doesn't mean your mission will be public or filled with recognition. In fact, the chosen often work behind the scenes. They transform environments with their vibration, guide with simple words, help with silent gestures. The impact you bring isn't in the noise you make, but in the frequency you hold. You're like an anchor in the storm. This invisible preparation you've lived, the struggles, the losses, the silences, the pain, the restarts, all of it served to make you strong on the inside. Life has shaped you through experiences that seemed unfair but now make sense. Each fall taught you to rise more aware. Each dark night taught you to trust your own light. And now, that learning must be applied. The secret group didn't come to follow patterns. It came to break them. And that requires a strength that can't be learned from books, but only through life's practice. That's why you spent so long in silence, feeling out of place, because you were being shaped from within, molded to uphold a mission that is only now beginning to be understood. You don't need to know all the details. You only need to follow what your heart is saying. That impulse calling you to move cities, close a chapter, learn something new, or help someone for no logical reason, all of that is part of your alignment with purpose. Don't ignore that calling. It carries built-in direction. What's coming requires people who are awake, centered, and strong in spirit. And that's why the secret group is being activated now. When everything seems uncertain, your energy will be an anchor for many. You will inspire just by existing. You will heal just by listening. You will transform just by keeping your truth alive. That's part of your role. The mission of the Chosen isn't about fame or visibility. It's about vibration. You were prepared for moments when the world calls out for balance. And those moments have already begun. That's why you feel more sensitive, more alert, more connected. Because you're being positioned. When your soul senses that something big is coming, it's because it already has. Now all that's left is to trust the preparation you've received. Act with awareness. Let go of what no longer serves you, and allow the energy of your purpose to guide your steps. The secret group is ready. You are part of it, and your presence will be needed where the light seems dim. Because when you arrive, the atmosphere changes. Everything you've lived through until now was not in vain. Every silence, every doubt, every moment of distance, it was all part of a careful preparation. Now the pieces are beginning to fall into place. You are more aware, more sensitive, more grounded. The feeling of being alone is starting to transform into recognition. You can feel that something greater is in motion, and you're part of it. The secret group is not visible to ordinary eyes. It reveals itself through energy, through vibration, through the silent truth that each chosen one carries. And when these individuals awaken, something changes around them. They are like points of light igniting in the midst of darkness. Each person who recognizes themselves in this calling strengthens the collective field. There is no manual, no set of rules. There is only one certainty. The time has come, and those who feel it, know it. Now is the moment to act with awareness, to keep your frequency high, and to allow the mission to unfold step by step. You are not alone. Others are feeling the same. If this message spoke to you, comment here. The secret group is active. Let's recognize one another. The connection has already begun.